1,000 man-eating spiders. And you've got a choice. I fell off a wall, or the second one that has who were my friends and me, what I walked on the wall, when it was a sunny day because the sun was in the sky, where did it happen, on top of the wall, by the side of the zoo, in the old park, and why did I walk on top of the wall? Because my friends dared me to. I didn't want to look foolish. Young children will come up with very surprising answers for why. And that's the way that you would introduce this within the Key Stage 1. Key Stage 2, now you've got a chance to show this. This I wouldn't introduce until perhaps year 5 and year 6, talking about the voice sounds. But children will be used to listening to it because you will have modelled it. Well, I could say there was a boy in the forest. And it's not much of a story. But if you start to use all of this structure to show children how their writing can become more mature, you say, the boy was nearly as tall as a man and stood by the side of that empty forest. The moon was in the sky like a great silvered coin, but a fine breeze blew his yellow hair away from his eyes, and with his thin fingers clasped together, his voice, no louder than a whisper, rattled and echoed in that empty place. Oh, I wish that I had never come away from the wall. He took a step, and as he looked at the trees, he could see that they held leaves on their branches, and each of the leaves had all of the colours of the rainbow within them. But it was the sound that they made, a soft and a gentle thud as they hit the ground. And on he walked through that place, his feet being cut by the fine gravel, and it crunched and rattled and echoed in that place, and there was a smell of death in the air. You've got a choice. The boy walked through the forest, or the second that had description. I forgot to put in feelings, but his heart was heavy in his chest. Senses, talked about the smell of death, talked about what he could hear. His talk was no bigger than a whisper, rattled and echoed in that empty place. And they have a much more fulfilling read for the children to understand that they need to put 5 questions and 5 answers. For older children, you can introduce it in the way of saying, it's not just the 5 questions that you used to have when you were in the infants. Now, it's 2 handfuls, and it's not whatever. It's who, where, what, why, and when, descriptions, feelings, senses, talk, and the way that the talk sounds. Well, one last part within this is the fact that a story has 3 parts. Now, I know that people have dissected stories into 7 parts and talked about character, conclusion and dilemma. I find, and this has been developed over 7 years, since 1999 I've been developing this so that children have a means of understanding about story, and I tend to go for beginning, middle and end. Well, if you put those letters together, beginning, middle and end, together they spell out be me. And that's the whole point. When I'm telling a story, I need you to be me. I need you to be able to see what I can see inside of my head. I need to make sure that I have committed it to the way that I've spoken it or written it, so that you can be me. And that is the question that children should ask themselves when they are reviewing the work. Can whoever's reading this be me?